Munich, Bavaria, Germany and the European Championships of 2022. A multi-sport occasion spread out across this verdant and beautiful city. The nexus of it, the Olympic Park. Athletics, beach volleyball, canoe sprint, cycling, rowing, sport climbing, table tennis and triathlon. But today, despite it being a little rainy, a little grey, bright colours, the sun shining on the European Men's Artistic Gymnastics Championships. For inside the setting of the Olympia Halle, everything is golden. This is a huge space to fill. It's a place to dream big. It's a place to produce the performances of your lives. That's the challenge facing the men in the team final, which is about to get underway. And you're warmly welcomed to all of the action from Munich, the second multi-sport European Championships. The men's team final about to get underway with the prospect of history being made. Some nations have never won this title, some have never won medals. One nation has, and they are the top qualifiers. Can they continue in that vein, or will a nation that has dreamed of gold have their opportunity to go from second to first? This is the start list for the men's team final. Top qualifiers, Great Britain, paired up with the second strongest performers in qualification, Turkey. They will work in the Olympic order, as they call it, from floor all the way through to the horizontal bar. We also have, after qualification, prospects for Spain, for Italy, for France, potentially, for Switzerland. What about Germany and Hungary, the 7th and 8th best performers in qualification, respectively? So much up in the air, so many possibilities, so many permutations. But the question is, can Great Britain hold on to top spot after a brilliant day of qualifications that included Joe Fraser winning the all-around title? Will James Hall have a ball? And will Jake Jarman be the star man? There are your top qualifiers, but the nation that finished just behind them are coming out next, accompanying them along the way. Turkey. After Ahmet and Adem took individual silver and bronze yesterday, can the second highest qualifiers, Turkey, come from underneath to seal the deal? If anyone can, Adajan. That's got to win one of the awards for most unexpected team introduction to the entire competition. That was a shock, but so were they. Third in qualification, Spain. They've never won a men's team medal at the European Championships. After finishing fourth in the individual all-around, can Joel hand it to them on a platter? Will his teammate Nicolau perform a miracle? Spain dreaming. But how about the fourth best performers in qualification, Italy? The shock of the day was that gentleman, number 347, Matteo Levantesi, who levitated out of nowhere to being one of the top individuals at his debut European Championships. He was the Renaissance man of a new-look Italian team, with execution king Nicola at the heart of it. Bartolini always does it cleanly. It's France next. A nation that is serving up a summer barbecue of great gymnasts on this rainy day in Munich. With a well-cooked Osberger, you need a serving of fresh Saladino. Get it right today, we could witness cordon bleu gymnastics. But now we see the Swiss flag, and that's always a big plus. Entering the fray is Andrin. And it's clear that Marco fills a gap in the team. Young Dominic was good in qualification, so Switzerland will be anything but a damsel in distress today. But what of the host nation, Germany? Toba or not Toba? That is the question. The Germans weren't great in qualifying, but Niels Desperandum, Dunkel is back and planning to be better than ever. And finally, Hungary. The bronze medalists from 2020. It's clear that without Mészáros, they'd be at a loss. Chris was crisp, finishing 6th in the all-around. If all goes well, the mighty Magyars will line up behind Balázs to kiss their medals. And there are your 8 teams. Welcome wherever in the world you're joining the action from. Ollie Hogben here, and alongside me as ever is Blythe Lawrence. As we look at some of the key players, Blythe, what are some of the key factors?
Well, in the qualification round, Great Britain built a great cushion over Turkey. They outscored them by nearly 3 points. Another thing that the British have going for them is their all-around strength. And that means not only are they excellent on every apparatus, in this final, they don't have to tax their gymnasts too much. No British man is scheduled to do more than 4 apparatus today, while Turkey, on the other hand, is asking a lot of its top performers, Ahmet Önder and Adam Asil, both of whom will be doing all 6 pieces. Still, if they hit, they will deliver massive scores that will keep Turkey in the hunt for gold should the British have mistakes.
Yes, it's a fascinating set of permutations, isn't it? You're quite right, Blythe, to bring up the pressure on Adam Asil and Ahmet Önder, because they are in the only squad that has 2 gymnasts doing all 6 pieces. And as you quite rightly said, for Great Britain, they've chosen to really spread the load. It's going to be very interesting to see the impact that has. As we now look at the second group, these are the 3rd and 4th strongest qualifiers, Spain and Italy. They'll begin on the pommel horse.
And it's interesting that Spain begins on pommel horse, because while they distinguish themselves from the rest of the pack in qualification, or in the 3rd place spot at least, if they can do a bit better on this apparatus, they could even potentially challenge Turkey for the silver, which of course would be huge for a country that has never medaled at these championships.
France and Switzerland, the 5th and 6th strongest performers in qualification. And neighbours will begin on the still rings. There'll be neighbours throughout the day today. For France, Leo Saladino was a key performer in the all-around competition, 13th best. He'll be a key performer today. Germany, now this is interesting, isn't it, Blythe? It's fair to say that the Germans didn't have a particularly good day in qualification, but they're here, they're in the final.
It was very interesting in the qualification, actually, because their lowest team score on any apparatus came on horizontal bar, which is typically where they are just superb. Now, their best team score, really, and where they have actually got something of a cushion over other teams, shockingly, is on pommel horse. They were the top country on pommel horse in qualification. So very interesting and potential for them to move up.
And they will be performing second to last on pommel horse. So if they can keep themselves in the picture, then as the nerves start to get jangly, we could see Germany really make a move towards the podium.
And don't forget the home court advantage. The crowd in here, they love the German team. They've shown up for them, and they're going to be behind them all the way.
And we must also mention Hungary, the bronze medalists from 2020. They are starting with the Germans on vault, and Christopher Mezaros, what a lovely gymnast, and how well he performed in the all-around competition, finishing 6th. That's a brilliant accomplishment for a 20-year-old. So, that's the idle speculation part done. Now we just have the small matter of the team final, and it's great to have your company for it. There, the gentleman who was the toast and the talk of Munich, Joe Fraser, on Thursday won the all-around title, the first British man ever to do that. And so it feels suitable, protocol almost, to begin with Joe Fraser. Interestingly, in the initial start list, he wasn't scheduled to perform this piece. Scored a 13.633, I should say, on Thursday.
And some problems on his first 2 tumbling rides, notably on the landing. He puts 1 foot out of bounds on the second pass. That will cost him just a 10th. But the big lunges, the steps upon landing, those are going to cost him 0.3 to 0.5 apiece.
Well, one just wonders exactly what it is that Joe Fraser has left in the locker. He must be exhausted from all of the gymnastics he's done lately, and done so well too. Came into this having battled with a fractured foot and appendicitis.
Excellent landing on the Arabian double front, however.
Next gymnast awards, representing Hungary,
And he ends with a half in, half out. Very difficult pass to end with. The beginning was slightly shaky, but the end was very good.
Big performance from Joe Fraser on Thursday. A big performance today as well, as he resets and starts again for a team challenge after his individual brilliance.
One thing that we're really going to be paying attention to today is the landings on floor exercise, because that is where the gymnast tends to lose the most in execution points. If you have a small step, a hop, something less than shoulder width, that's going to lose you a 1/10 of a point. Anything shoulder width or greater will lose you 3 to 5/10 of a point.
Wertung ist auch gekommen. 13,8
Now we'll come back to the score in a moment for that, and we'll move over to Hungary on vault. Hungarian team, the 8th strongest performers in the qualification process. Benedikt Tomczany, 20-year-old from Budapest, scored 13.933 for this vault in qualifying.
And once again, a very clean start for the Hungarians. The only thing really to reproach him for is that step back on the landing, probably 0.5 of a point.
13.833 for Tomczany. He's down by just a 10th from qualification, so absolutely comparable. As we now go to the still rings, the French team, the 5th best performers in qualification. Cameron Lee Bernard, part of the French team that won the bronze at the Mediterranean Games.
Very nice strength parts, each of which have to be held at least 2 seconds. He's also got to demonstrate control of the rings. They've picked up a slight amount of swing. Gymnasts are required to do at least one swing to handstand hold element. Dismount full twisting, double layout.
Cameron Lee Bernard of France. He was 12th on rings at the Baku World Cup earlier this year, as Joe Fraser scores 13.7, up just a fraction from qualification. Good solid start for Great Britain on floor. They've got bigger scorers potentially to come. All scores counting in a team competition when it gets to the final stage. Now to Spain. On the pommel horse, we're looking at Joel Plata. Very big performance this for Spain after 11.333 for Nicolau Mir. Not a strong beginning for them.
Spain and Joel Plata have been one of the stories, one of the breakouts of this competition so far. Pommel horse, however, has not been their forte, as you see, coming off fairly early in the exercise. That will incur a 1-point deduction.
Well, we're looking here at a gymnast who was quite superb during the all-around final. Joel Plata, 4th best performer. He was so close to getting a medal. And one can only imagine how much that must have required of him. And it's really regrettable to see Spain begin their campaign with some struggles on this apparatus. And right from the beginning, Blythe, now everything we know from qualification has been torn into shreds and thrown in little pieces of paper into the air, and that can sometimes happen in a team event.
It's easy to extrapolate things from the qualification, and it does give you some indication of where teams are. However, of course, in the final, scores are wiped clean. All teams start from 0. What happens before does not matter.
Well, evidence there, 13.233 for Cameron Lee Bernard. That's half a mark up from qualifying. So a good jump there for the French. Now we're going to have a look at the Germans on vault, and a gymnast who really will be waiting for his chance here after things didn't go so well in qualification. Andreas Tober. That's better than qualifying, isn't it? 12.866 in the preliminary round.
Kasamatsu with 1.5 twists, an old standby vault for him. Very well delivered. But just like you said, Ollie, what he is going to be waiting for is a chance for redemption both on parallel bars and on horizontal bar. Good start, though.
14.066. Absolute transformation from qualifying. Germany in play all of a sudden. Spain struggling all of a sudden. Gosh, I hope you've been with us since the start. 12.2 for Joel Plata. He's down by 1.3 marks from qualification. Nicolau Mir dropping by almost 2 marks. So that makes things very interesting for all of the other nations. A chance for us to catch up now with Switzerland, who are on the still rings. This is Noah Seifert, who was excellent in the all-around. He was 5th, the 23-year-old.
Just like Joel Plata of Spain, an emerging all-around talent who is having the meat of his life so far here in Munich. Nice Jonassen to Yamawaki combination. And giant double twisting double tuck.
So the Swiss sensation Noah Seifert, who made his World Championship debut just last year, a really emerging player on the scene. The reigning all-around national champion, though. So in some ways, it's no surprise. 13.366, quite comparable to qualification. He loses just a couple of tenths. Now, this is a potential huge score for Turkey on floor. Adem Asil, the all-around bronze medalist, he picked up 14.266 in qualification.
He is capable of such fantastic difficulty right from the start. Front handspring layout full to double front in the pike position. Pass that gets him a mound of difficulty and 2/10 of connection bonus. Arabian double front, but does put 1 foot out of bounds, so there will be a penalty of 1/10 of a point at least. Still, there is so much difficulty in this routine. He has to pack everything into 75 seconds maximum. Gymnasts have actually been given an extra 5 seconds on floor exercise for this Olympic cycle than they were before the Tokyo Games. Half in, half out, great landing to end. Fabulous exercise.
Well done, Turkey, for what they accomplished on Thursday. Silver and bronze in the all-around competition. Historic, first ever Turkish men's all-around medalists.
Of all the hard tumbling that he did, the step out on that Arabian double front is really the only thing that was really a big deduction in this exercise, which is, again, just packed with difficulty.
It's 13.9 for Adem Asil. He's down by just over 3/10 from qualification. I'm going to give you a clear picture of everything once this first rotation is over. Let's now go to Great Britain on floor and Jake Jarman, 14.466 in qualification.
Speaking of gymnasts who are capable of enormous difficulty, that's Jake Jarman on floor exercise. Fantastic first 2 passes.
This is the reigning Commonwealth Games floor champion and all-around champion. And that's why.
That's a unique pass. 2.5 to a front layout, to a front double full. Nobody else does that combination in this competition. Maybe nobody else in the world.
Well, that has really made a case of things for Great Britain. Jake Jarman, the 20-year-old from Peterborough, the star of the Commonwealth Games. This was something special.
Oh yes, this, once again, the combination twisting pass, 2.5, front layout. Most gymnasts would stop there, but not him. Cranks another double twisting front layout at the end. I don't think we can overstate the difficulty of this routine, what he is capable of, both in terms of flipping and twisting. He does do more than everybody else and finishes off with a really clean triple full.
Italy on the pommel horse. This is Yumin Abadini, who scored 12.533 in qualification. He has been a medalist at the national championships on this piece.
Very nice clearance above the horse with his hips. Flares into Magyar, traveling back and forth. Through the handstand into the pirouette.
Well,
wonderful.
Yeah, very useful from Yumin Abadini of Italy. Just 21, he's from Ranica in Bergamo province in the north of the country. He's got very nice flare work, powerful gymnast, good clean leg position. Tries to click his heels as he goes into the handstand position. Lots to like about that. Finally making his senior European Championship debut after competing as a junior in Glasgow in 2018. Team bronze medalist there. And Italy have been brilliant in all of the team competitions, junior and senior so far. They've won the lot. .14.5 for Jake Jarman. Very important score for the British team. Now let's go over to the silver medalist in the all-around competition on Thursday, Ahmed Under. 14.266 in qualifying.
Beautiful first pass, the same that we saw from Adam Asil, and what a landing. It was terrific to see him hit all 6 of his routines in the qualification. He is somebody who in the past has struggled with consistency, but there has never been any question about the beauty and quality of his gymnastics, and that's exactly what he's displaying right now.
Gymnastics at its heart is the synthesis of elegance and power, and Ahmed Under embodies it beautifully, doesn't he?
The nexus of sport and art. Yes, indeed, he does. Final pass, triple full.
Very nice to see from Ahmed Under of Turkey. He had problems on floor in the team final at the European Championships in 2018, the first multi-sport European Championships, where Turkey looked like they were on course for a team medal and just faded away after a difficult pommel horse rotation. They're a different team now. They're different gymnasts. Well, most of them are the same, but you know what I mean.
There is a calmness and a confidence all of a sudden to Turkish gymnastics that they've been seeking and building towards for years. It seems to have finally arrived.
The confidence has come, one suspects, from winning the Mediterranean Games earlier this summer, from winning the Islamic Solidarity Games just a couple of weeks ago. 13.833 for Yumin Abadini. That is terrific. He's gained well over a mark from qualification. Now we need to catch up with Hungary because they've been making a very decent case over on vault. Here's Christopher Mészáros.
Absolutely fantastic first vault. What makes him so special is the body position, the tight, clean twist, the toe point, and a landing that you can't ask too much more from.
14.266, his score. That brings us to the end of the first rotation with a 14.233 for Ahmet Under. And that means that we'll be able to tell you how things are currently looking at the top of the leaderboard. It's Germany ahead, terrific on vault. Just ahead by around a tenth from Great Britain. Hungary are in third position, Turkey in fourth. They had a score of 12.666 from Mehmet Kosak, which we didn't see. Italy in fifth, Switzerland sixth, France seventh, and Spain. I mean, it really breaks your heart. They were magnificent in qualification, and they're down in eighth position at the moment.
Compared to what Spain did on pommel horse in the qualification, this is down a few points, which does not bode particularly well from them. That being said, now they have gotten their weakest apparatus out of the way. They have their 5 best to come.
We have Great Britain and Turkey on the pommel horse. We'll come back to that in a moment. Italy move over to the still rings, the Roman rings as they're often called. So great is Italy's tradition in that apparatus. They'll be partnered by Spain, looking to rebuild their team final. The French and the Swiss over on vault. And on the parallel bars, the teams that have already announced themselves in this final. 7th and 8th best qualifiers. Germany currently in first and third position. That's made things really interesting. Hungary were terrific at the European Championships 2 years ago. There's only a team competition every 2 years. And they were the bronze medalists there, their first ever success. The women also won a bronze medal. And if you watch the women's team final, you'll remember that Hungary were right in the conversation until the very end of the women's team competition when they just faded away. Germany on the parallel bars. They happen to have some very accomplished performers on that piece, don't they?
They'll be looking for a huge score from Lucas Dowser, the silver medalist from the Olympic Games on parallel bars, and why not from Andreas Toba as well. He was not happy with what he did in the qualification. He'll get another chance here.
Pommel horse will be a most interesting rotation to look at for Great Britain and for Turkey. It has sometimes been tricky for some of the Turkish gymnasts, but they seemed to have banished that with their performances on Thursday. Hope you're enjoying all of the action so far. We are 1/6 of the way through what is already looking like a very unpredictable men's team final. Now, this is a lovely young gymnast from Italy, Lorenzo Casali. He was 7th in the all-around competition. 19-year-old, born in Hanoi. Part of the team that won a silver at the Mediterranean Games. He has a certain cleanliness to his gymnastics that bodes very well for his all-around potential. On the still rings, he scored 13.5 on Thursday.
Opens with a planche hold. Showing a kip to a second planche hold. settling in after his Yamawaki-Jonassen combination. One question the judges will be asking is whether the gymnast finishes the swing elements in perfect handstand, like that giant swing. Double twisting, double tuck, stuck landing.
Very good beginning from Lorenzo Casali. Fair to say that Italy don't have too many massive scorers on individual apparatus. There are a few dotted around here and there. What they do have is a really secure all-around team, and maybe that will be enough to make a run for the medals on a day like today.
That's an excellent point. Italy has actually eschewed some of their biggest specialists for younger all-arounders to give them some experience here, and they have really done a nice job.
We're used to seeing big numbers from Italy on the still rings. It won't quite be that way in this rotation for them because of the decision to bring the all-arounders. But there's more than one way to go about winning a team medal. Switzerland over on vault. Moreno Kratter, 24-year-old from the Zurich area. It's a nice start.
Oh, Kasamatsu, 1.5 twists. Brilliant landing. It's a vault we are going to see a lot today. It's pretty clean in the air, but again, the landing's great.
14.466, his score, and that is a jump of a mark and a third from qualification. So well done, Moreno Kratter, well done the Swiss team. Now, how's the number for Lorenzo Casali? 13.566 for him. He gains a little under a tenth from qualifying. James Hall of Great Britain on the pommel horse. Almost 14 for this routine in qualifying.
One of the most reliable members of the British team. You can always count on James Hall to deliver. Really nice woo travel, the Venda swing going across the horse. Classic Magyar Sharada.
And really classic James Hall. A great team gymnast. It almost seems a contradiction in terms. How can one be a great team person in an individual sport? Well, ask the British team, they'll say it's James Hall. He's the man who lifts the team, he steadies the team, he always delivers for the team. He did it at the Commonwealth Games, he's done it here.
It was calm, it was smooth, it was without major execution deduction. Right up through the handstand, the pirouette. Such solidity.
Very good beginning. And just in case you're new to watching team finals, 5 gymnasts in the team, 4 compete in qualification with 3 scores counting, but in the team final, 3 compete, all of the scores count. And that's really important. No discarded numbers. Every number you see on the screen is a scoring number. It counts towards the team total. It increases the pressure in the final. Here is Nils Dunkel of Germany on the parallel bars.
You speak about the team format, Ollie, and how punishing it is. And it makes minimizing mistakes and small gains very important. Very important for a team like Germany. So far, this is the kind of routine that you want in a team final. It's clean, it's smooth.
Isn't it just? Fine work from Nils Dunkel and the host nation. Look, a totally different team from the one that stuttered their way through qualification on Thursday. But you know what? If you get into the final, it's a brand new day. They just did enough to get there, and they look transformed now.
We saw it with the German women as well in the team final. They were not the same team as they were in qualifications. Well done so far to Germany.
Niels Dunkel was fourth on the parallel bars at the first European Multisport Championships in Glasgow. He's got real pedigree on this piece. His father is a coach at the MTV Erfurt Club as James Hall scores 13.766. That's down by nearly a couple of tenths from qualification, not a big drop. Leo Saladino of France is now about to vault. He was 13th in the all-around competition. Its vault could be useful for the French team. It was their best scoring vault, 14.6 in qualification. That's why they're all watching on nervous here. He is a good vaulter.
On every apparatus, he is a bright young talent for France. Lots and lots of difficulty. And that there is a very good example. The Kasamatsu with a double twist. We've seen several 1.5s. He goes for the extra half twist. That will bode well for his D score.
He's only 20 from the beautiful southeast of France.
The only place where he has to work a bit is in straightening his legs and pointing his toes. D score is very good. The E score, that could be improved slightly, and no doubt he's working towards that.
Yeah. 14.3 for Leo Saladino. He is down by 3/10 from qualification, so very much in line with what you were observing there, Blythe. Jake Jarman will be next to take the pommel horse for the British team. He scored 13.033 in qualification.
Starts off with a scissor to handstand. Maybe just the smallest of hesitations as he came down. Missed the Wendeschwing between the pommels. More difficult than if he does it at the side of the horse, as he shows there.
Just had to fight a moment or two of leg separation, Jake Jarman, to really try and keep this motoring. He's close to the apparatus, but he looks as though he's got through it, and that's 2 out of 3 for the British team so far. Well, that was a very impressive fighting display from Jake Jarman, who sticks his tongue out. But there isn't too much for the judges to stick their tongues at in that one.
Pommel horse is often the apparatus that you're very happy to get out of the way, whether or not your team is strong at it. And of course, the British on pommel horse, well, that is a strong apparatus.
14.066 for Niels Dunkel. He gains half a mark from qualification. Keep an eye on Germany. They are impressing in this team final. And they may well continue to impress, especially with this man, Lukas Dauser, silver medalist at the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
It's an interesting tactical decision to put Dauser up second of 3 in this lineup. He is the star, and as long as he simply does what he's capable of, and so far he is, this will be a great number. Precise, elegant, everything to the handstand, and there's plenty of difficulty.
7th in qualification. Doesn't seem to matter very much. Lukas Dauser. I don't know what's happened to Germany between Thursday and today. I have to check carefully if they even sent the same team. They look the same, but not when they actually get on the apparatus. Well done to Germany for this performance.
Always a beauty to watch on the parallel bars. Both the swing elements, but also the landing, double front tuck, half out. Just the smallest of adjustments on the landing.
Just to tell you, whilst we're looking at the German team, that Pommelhorst has been the centre of some real changes in the complexion of this team final. As Jake Jarman scores 13.266, that's up by a couple of tenths from qualification, but we'll update you on Turkey in just a moment, and that is significant. 15.533. That is an absolutely monstrous number from Lukas Dauser. And you know what? Germany have just put themselves into a contest for gold with that performance.
And they still have one to go.
Andrea Cingolani of Italy performs on the still rings. He was a 14-plus scorer in qualification, the Bull of Macerata, they call him, the 32-year-old.
A stalwart for the Italian team on this apparatus. It is his specialty. That said, this is not easy. You actually see his feet trembling as he strains to hold these strength moves, but he does do it. Oh, and that will be at least half a point deduction.
Well, he is their big scorer on the still rings based on his track record. Andrea Cingolani, first European Championship since 2016 for him. It's been great to see him come back in to the national setup, but he looks really frustrated with that 13.466. He dropped by just over half a mark from qualification, exactly as you suggested.
Anytime a gymnast has a fall from a handstand and that qualifies, they will lose half a point.
Hungary were in third place after the first rotation. This is Christian Balázs, who scored almost 14 marks on the parallel bars in the preliminary round. Three-time Youth Olympic medalist.
Uprise front somi to upper arm support. Heely turn, followed by a half pirouette. This is the Bobsar. Lovely element that moves from one end of the bars to the other. Shows different variation, an older variation with to pelt. So far, really nice display. Dismount double front.
Well, Hungary are quietly going about making their claim for a place on the podium. This largely young team, 13.833 for Balázs. Just down by a tenth from qualification. They don't have the huge numbers that Germany do on the parallel bars, but later on, we may see them impress, particularly with the likes of Mezaros on floor. Now they've got to keep this up, Germany. Here is Glenn Krebing. 22-year-old silver medalist on the parallel bars at the National Championships earlier this year, but he struggled in qualification, 12.366.
He could not have asked for a better setup than what he got from Lukas Dauser. Unfortunately, that will be a significant execution deduction. struggling into the handstands. Slight leg separation on the Makuts. Still some beautiful work. Diamondov, Stutz, and double pike.
He's done very well, Glenn Trebing, to steady himself after that problematic start, because he's probably lost a few execution attempts here and there, but he's also saved quite a lot. That could have spiraled out of control. It didn't. Germany will still come out of this rotation with a pretty handsome score.
We talked about minimizing the problems when they do happen. Well done to him for doing that. Still, the slow-mo makes it clear that an error was committed, but it was the only error in this exercise, really.
And it was unbelievable strength, wasn't it, from him to actually pull himself out of that error.
And to keep the rhythm going for the rest of the routine.
Glenn Trebing. We'll come back to this now. Turkey on the pommel horse. Ahmet Under. I said to you this was a very significant rotation for both Great Britain and for Turkey on the pommel horse. Ahmet Under scored 13.5 for this routine on Thursday. But as you can see here, just didn't quite go according to plan.
He attempts back-to-back Wu travels. It travels down the horse in the Wendeschwing position. And it almost looks like he dismounts. That is not at all what he was intending to do. That was a fall. We've been wondering if the Turkish team has been feeling fatigued. They've been competing so often recently, and in the team qualification, they didn't show it. But this from Under potentially is fatigue. He gets up, he does his dismount.
He was so superb on Thursday. He was so delighted with his performance and his teammates, not so much with that score, 12.333. Well, feeling the press, but not feeling the pressure at the moment, the German team. They're coping very well. 12.766 though for Glenn Trebing. Now, it is an improvement by 4/10 from qualification. It puts Germany in a very good position on the leaderboard. But we'll give you a full update on things now. Germany ahead of Great Britain, Hungary in third position, Switzerland fourth, Turkey and Spain, who were the second and third best performers in qualification, are down in 7th and 8th place. I will just update you further on Turkey's pommel horse rotation. 12.033 for Adem Asil, 14.266 thankfully from Ferhat Arujan, but it has really changed the game for the Turkish team, and it suddenly means that, Blythe, I don't know about you, this is one of the most extraordinary first thirds of a men's team competition I have ever witnessed.
Well, what we thought might happen has not happened. Turkey, they needed pommel horse. They needed to do what they were capable of on pommel horse in order to keep themselves in that second place position, close to where we thought Great Britain was going to be. But no, things are not at all as we thought they would be so far. And what a comeuppance for Germany.
We are just awaiting a confirmed pommel horse score for Joe Fraser of Great Britain. As soon as that's in, then we'll have a better idea as to exactly what the leaderboard is looking like. Now, France are on the parallel bars with the Swiss team. But as I say, we're just waiting on confirmation of the final British pommel horse scores. Now, as if we needed a little more drama, Germany are now on the horizontal bar, whereas you said, Blythe, they actually have got big scoring potential and yet didn't quite demonstrate it in the qualification process.
They had a fall from Andreas Toba, who is normally so steady. He will go up third for the Germans, and certainly he is motivated to do better.
We'll start this third of 6 rotations with Great Britain and James Hall on the rings. He scored 13.533 in qualifying.
He's such an important member of a team, James Hall, because you can put him anywhere. First up in the lineup, third up in the lineup, and you can be well assured that he will bring in a quality score. The difficulty is there, the consistency is there. Last question, are the landings there? Well, not bad. Double twisting, double tuck.
He so often breathes a big sigh of relief, James Hall, when he steps off the competition floor and his routine draws to a close. Again, he's a gymnast who picked up an injury in training just ahead of the Commonwealth Games. It's pretty extraordinary that he's done what he's been able to do. And the British team, every man jack of them says that he is the hardest working gymnast they know. Now let's have a look at the Spanish team as they try to make a case for themselves. Here's Nicolau Mir on vault.
Extraordinary distance on the Kasamatsu 1.5 twist. .233 the score for Nicolau Mir. I will just tell you that Joe Fraser scored 14.433 on the pommel horse. That confirmed score has come in, so that will affect the standings a little. Now we're looking at Paul Deguy of France on the parallel bars. First chance we've had to have a look at the French all-around champion. Steady giants and pirouettes. Setting up his tippelt. Fantastic hip rise. And a double pike to end.
Paul Deguy of the French team. 25-year-old gymnast who has trained in Australia, among other places. He's a qualified architect and he's hoping to be the architect of an unlikely French chase for what would be their second consecutive European Championships team medal in terms of multi-sport games, because they were the bronze medalists in Glasgow in 2018. 13.433 for James Hall. Down by only a tenth from qualification. He's performing with good consistency so far. Let's go to Italy on vault and Lorenzo Casali. Now this was a good vault in qualifying, 14.466. It was Italy's best vault. Lorenzo Casali.
the Kasamatsu style vault with 2 twists. Large step back though. That will probably cost him, again, half a point because it is greater than the width of his shoulders.
Hasn't he looked promising though as an all-around competitor?
And yes, there is a significant step backwards on that vault. However, difficulty-wise, it is much more difficult than what we've seen from others. So,
and it's better than in qualification, 14.5. 13.766 for Paul de Guy. On the parallel bars, he's down by a few tenths from qualification. We'll stay with the parallel bars and look at the Swiss team. And this is Dominic Tanzel. Silver medalist of the national championships on the parallel bars. Good young gymnast.
This is one of his first major international competitions. So far, he is well on his way to posting a really nice score for the Swiss men. Clean and smooth in the handstand pirouettes, the transitions. Double pike.
Dominic Tanzel from the Zurich area, like quite a lot of the Swiss gymnasts. It's his debut Senior European Championships. He'll be important on pommel horse for them later, as well as the national champion.
Many of the Swiss stars retired last year, so this is a new generation coming up.
This is a big performance coming up for Germany. Lukas Dauser on the horizontal bar. Germany, the leaders after 2 rotations at home here in Munich. And this man is from the Munich suburbs.
Begins with 2 Takamoto skills. Those can be difficult to land near handstand. Tucked Kovac, very good. Two Kachev skills. So far, this is lovely from Lukas Dauser. All he needs is a good dismount.
And he has it, and they are very much in play, the German team. It's now time to really consider them as serious contenders to take the title. Amazing.
Beautiful work, as we're used to seeing. Good extension, good amplitude, excellent body position, and clean, just such clean gymnastics, as always, from him.
13.3 is the score for Lukas Dauser. He drops just 2 tenths from qualification. 5.3 difficulty score. Not enormous in the context of horizontal bar gymnastics, but a very solid performance. 14.1 for Dominic Tanzel. Well done to him. Now, Nicola Bartolini of Italy is the next gymnast to vault. 14.3 in qualification.
One of the kings of execution in this sport currently, and shows why with this gorgeous Kasamatsu 1.5. Watch his legs and the way that he twists. Irreproachable.
He's a strangely gentle athlete in the way he handles gravity, and he scores 14.5, up by 2 tenths from qualification. 9.3 the execution score. We're never surprised, are we, when Nicola Bartolini serves up a masterclass in execution. In terms of people who serve up masterclasses on particular apparatuses, bang on cue, here is Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, still rings specialist and a key member of the British team when it comes to getting them a big score. 14.733 in qualification. He's the Commonwealth Games two-time rings champion, and he's won 2 European Championship still rings medals. Wonderfully strong athlete.
The reason that he is capable of such big scores on still rings is strength positions like these, among the most difficult in the competition. The Malteses, he does them twice. Jonasson to handstand, masterful. Everything needs to be held for 2 seconds, as said before, but he can't have too long of a hesitation between elements when he's just in the support phase. Judges will deduct if those pauses are more than 2 seconds. So far, this has been great.
It was very strong from Courtney Tulloch with quite a sizable landing adjustment. Nonetheless, could be a significant score for the British team. Just wait to see what the impact of that side or diagonal step backwards is on the landing.
It's one thing that we are seeing today, isn't it? And so many of these gymnasts have been competing so much recently. You have to wonder if we are seeing just flickers of fatigue on some of these landings.
Especially after all that he did in the air. It'll have a high difficulty score. This is a gymnast who will be desperate to get back on this piece. 11.933 in qualification for Andreas Tober, the silver medalist on the horizontal bar at the European Championships last year. This could be a real bellwether indication of Germany's credentials today.
Very nice, the 2 Takamoto skills. Finishing near handstand. Oh, what extension in catching. That full twisting double tuck over the bar. Tremendous height on the Kachev too. Everything is just taken to the maximum when it's Andreas Toba on high bar. Such a supple swing and such big gymnastics.
All that went wrong on Thursday has gone right today. Toba or not Toba, we asked at the start. Well, we have our answer. Germany are making a real run for this, and they're looking sensational. They won the title in 2010. Now, France with a quest on the parallel bars from Cameron Lee Bernard. He did very well in qualification. Bronze medalist at the Mediterranean Games on this piece.
And doing very well here indeed. Extraordinary 1 bar handstand. Intricate pirouetting skills. Finishing with a Healy. Double pike. Large step back, however, but the interior of the routine was terrific.
Courtney Tulloch for his performance on the still rings, very comparable to qualification. 14.633, just the loss of a single tenth. Great Britain currently in a leading position over Germany. The score for Andreas Toba, though, will bear no resemblance to qualification. That is clear. It's 13.266. He gains almost a mark and a half from Thursday. Italy currently in third position. They've really pushed up into contention. This one's going to keep us guessing, and that kept us guessing. He almost didn't make it.
Look at how extended he is in order to grab the bar. He cast out far. He really went for it, and it paid off.
It was a big gamble, wasn't it, for Andreas Tober to make that work?
That release skill is always a big gamble, but great rewards come from great risks.
Well, let's see what Hungary can do with Christian Balázs on the horizontal bar, bronze medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 on this piece.
And somebody capable of really sending things high. Same release that we saw from Andreas Tober, the Coleman. And a series of connected catch-ups. In order to get a really big score on horizontal bar right now, you have to connect release elements. And we haven't seen too many gymnasts doing them here. As we move closer to the Paris Olympics, though, no doubt those kind of connections will start cropping up in more routines.
Well, that's a lovely display from Christian Balázs of Hungary. 13.733, I should say, in qualification. He's very elegant on this piece.
Wonderful position on the full twisting double layout, and his toe point especially.
His score especially, 13.866. That's a really important number for Hungary. And do you know what? All of you, wherever you're watching this final from, your guess is as good as ours right now, because it's unpredictable. 14.733 for Bernard on the parallel bars. He gains almost half a mark from qualifying. This is one of the best still rings gymnasts in the world, Adam Asil. He scored 14.933 in qualification. Second strongest.
Turkey looking to rebound after that performance on pommel horse. This is a good apparatus for them to do it on. They were the highest scoring rings team in the qualifications. And one reason, really the big reason, is this man and what he is capable of on this apparatus. Just like Courtney Tulloch, mammoth strength, performed so precisely. He's been controlling everything, dismount, double twisting, double tuck.
You just want the Turkish team to do well, don't you? As a fan of gymnastics, seeing what they have accomplished over the years, how much better they've got, as the score of 14.8, a mighty score comes in for Adam Asil. You hope they can rebound. They've moved a little up the standings into 6th position at the moment. And that brings us to the halfway mark. It's as clear as mud thus far. Great Britain, however, lead. They had a very good rotation on the still rings. Joe Fraser scored a 14.1, ahead of Germany by over a mark. France and Switzerland virtually inseparable. Italy as well. We've got a 3-team contest for bronze that could also become a 4-team contest for silver. It could become a 2-team contest for gold. Goodness knows where we'll go in the second half of this final. Let's just take a moment of pause to take it all in and reflect. Hope that was long enough. Right, back we go with the rest of this final. Ollie Hogman here, joined by Blythe Lawrence, bringing you the men's team final in artistic gymnastics at Munich 2022. Germany now head to floor. And what I think will be interesting here is to look at their numbers as a direct comparison to the numbers posted by the British team on floor as they come in. And for Hungary, they've got a big scorer here in Christopher Mészáros, the second best performer in floor qualification. He's a lovely, stylish athlete on floor. Turkey are going to be vaulting. They've got high scoring potential on vault, and Great Britain are also vaulting. Now, what is again worth doing is looking at Great Britain's vault numbers compared to Germany's vault numbers. Germany's highest on vault was a 14.5. They had a 14.066 and a 13.966. It's clear from the qualification analysis that Great Britain have the potential to pick up some quite big numbers on vault and maybe open up a further advantage.
Great Britain, the highest scoring team on both vault and parallel bars in the qualification. And the British, they just haven't flagged. All of their resources are deployed extremely well with big potential for scoring really from every gymnast that they're going to put up in the next 2 rotations.
France and Switzerland, who are currently 3rd and 4th respectively, are on the horizontal bar. One could say, when it comes to a scoring point of view, that the sheer numbers, that very rarely a team title's won on the horizontal bar, but they are often lost on the horizontal bar.
That's an excellent point. Horizontal bar is a good event for the Swiss, and it can be a good event for the French. Switzerland, perhaps, in recent years has been a bit steadier, but they've also got a team that is relatively untested, as we mentioned before. Several Swiss veterans that had carried the team at major competitions have retired in the last 12 months.
Noah Seifert of Switzerland is their top scorer on the horizontal bar. He has a performance from qualification in excess of 14. So hither and thither we have these interesting narrative arcs coming up in the 4th rotation of this team final. Let's just summarise them again. We're looking at Germany and Great Britain comparison on floor and vault, as they've now flipped from right at the start of the competition. We're seeing whether Switzerland and France can maintain things on the horizontal bar, and we're seeing whether Turkey can push up the standings on vault. Moreno Klatter of Switzerland is the first to go on the horizontal bar. He scored just over 13.5 in qualification. Actually won a silver medal at the Junior European Championships on the horizontal bar in 2016. That's how long he's been around.
Winding up, tucked Kovac. Really nice catch. Fully extended body. The same element with a full twist, the Coleman. Difficulty-wise, he's really going for it. They're the big, exciting release skills. There's also a lot of intricate pirouetting. Lovely routine so far.
What a nice start from the Swiss on the horizontal bar. They are very good practitioners on this apparatus, and this is case in point.
Wonderful body position on the regrasp. He almost looked like he was doing a giant. That's exactly what you want to see.
Well, he's very accomplished in computer programming, Moreno Klatter, so we might call upon him later to make sense of some of the beguiling data in this team final, because it's still hard to see a clear pattern. What about Italy on the parallel bars? That's the question. They're starting with Nicola Bartolini. He scored just over 13.5 in qualifying.
Parallel bars has the potential to be a great event for the Italians. And certainly not just Bartolini, but also Matteo Levantesi, who turned in one of the routines of the qualification round. Bartolini, however, does such technically beautiful gymnastics. Everything looks so textbook. Double peg dismount.
Isn't that lovely? Just had a small flicker at one point with his legs. That was about it. Otherwise, he looks like an illustration of the code of points. They have little diagrams in there of what the skills look like, and very often he is an embodiment of that in reality.
If you had to choose a gymnast to illustrate the basics of gymnastics, like that back toss, Bartolini might be somebody that you look to.
Now this ought to be a positive number for Moreno Crater. It is 13.533, virtually the same as his qualification score. Now Gianni Regini Moran of Great Britain, very good vaulter, silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games.
The landing will be key.
Isn't it just? That's a very good vault from Gianni Regini Moran. He scored almost 15 in qualification.
And it would not be a surprise to see him do the same thing here. The Kasamatsu double full, 5.6, the difficulty tariff on this. And execution that was superb.
14.9, virtually the same as qualification. Once again, to remind you, Germany's top scoring vault was 14.5. So if you think like for like there, the British have made a 4/10 gain. Over on the floor exercise, the Germans get their campaign started. We're looking at Glenn Trebing.
That is somewhat problematic because not only does he take half a tenth for the step,
oh,
he
goodness.
will. Oh.
Well, you were about to say something and you're going to have to say more now because the hands have gone down and that's a full mark.
Yes, indeed. But it looks like there is something that is not all right with his knee, maybe. He stood and shook it out there.
Poor Glenn Trebing. He really looked as though he took an uncomfortable landing, didn't he? He shakes his head. Just hope he's okay here. Really hope he's all right. Glenn Trebing. Well, it's going to be problematic for the German team, but all that really matters is that he's all right. We just hope that Glenn Trebing has not picked up a bad injury from that floor routine. Could tell, couldn't you, from looking at his facial expression after that tumbling pass that he wasn't feeling okay. And just really well done to the medical team here. They've come straight across to have a chat with him before he moves, and that's really important just from a procedural point of view. Now here is Ahmed Under on vault.
Barely gets the rotation around on the Kasamatsu 1.5 twist. He will receive credit for it, I think, although there might be some question in the judges' minds. What this looks like from Turkey, frankly, is fatigue.
14 with a 5.2 difficulty score. Down by over half the mark from qualification. Oh, poor Glenn Trebing. 10.9 is his score. He looks absolutely devastated. He is due to be performing on the pommel horse and the still rings as well. We'll keep you updated on that as best we can. Now this is Lorenzo Casali of Italy on the parallel bars.
Surprising break at the top of the routine. It looked like his foot might have clipped the bars coming down. Positive leg separation.
Mm-hmm.
Smoothly through the Bavsar. One of the more difficult elements in the routine. Double front half out in the tuck position.
Just keep an eye on this young man. He's very good. Lorenzo Casali of Italy. Once he gets a little more experience out there, more of these kinds of competitions under his belt, more competitions at things like the Mediterranean Games and so on. Yeah, he's going in the right direction.
There's plenty of difficulty in all of his gymnastics. What he's been working on is cleaning up his execution.
Italy certainly one of the teams that can contend. Now, Courtney Tulloch, not just a ring specialist, but a vault specialist, 14.8 in qualification. And this is going very well for the British team. That's an exemplary piece of vaulting from Courtney Tulloch.
Dragulescu, handspring, double front with a half twist. And he's got so much power and so much height off the table. Plenty of time to get the 2 somersaults around and open up to spot the landing. Tremendous vaulting.
So Great Britain are in a very good position with things not fully clear yet because we've got to get all of the scores confirmed. Germany still have 1 performer left on the floor exercise. But I will just point out to you that Great Britain's second strongest vault, 14.6. That's over half a mark stronger than Germany's second strongest vault. Nestor Abad for Spain on the parallel bars.
One of the drivers of the Spanish team, 29 years old, a veteran.
Performed well on this piece on Thursday, 14.4. He was really in the mix for all-around success until a couple of difficult last rotations. He ended up finishing at 32nd, but he was in the top 5 or 6 for a lot of the competition.
This is an important routine for Spain.
It's nice to see from Nestor Abad, well performed on the parallel bars. The man from Alicante, 2-time Olympian.
Plenty of difficulty and great execution throughout. Dismount, double front, just a small hop back.
Adem Asil of Turkey, vaulting.
One of Turkey's aces on vault. Oh, extraordinary. The piked Dragulescu. Same thing we saw from Courtney Tulloch, but in the pike position, which makes it, of course, even harder. Tremendous height, great distance, great control on the landing. This was new for him last year, and he has just mastered it.
15.233. There aren't many people out there that can do the Rise Guang vault, and he is one of them.
Difficulty 6.0. That is 0.8 of a point higher than many of the vaults that we've seen today, just in difficulty.
.066. Nestor Abad's score. The Swiss are over on the horizontal bar with Marco Pfil. He performed well in qualifying, 13.833. Quietly impressive so far, the Swiss.
That was very impressive. Cassina, double layout with a full twist over the bar. Invented by the Italian Igor Cassina, Olympic champion on high bar in 2004. It's been emulated the world over, that skill. Marco Fiel, a man who has been very good on high bar, but that is problematic. He swings the wrong way, so that will be 0.3 plus the form deduction, at least another 0.3. Strong start, weaker finish.
Still, there are more questions than answers in this team final. Marco Fiel, the 24-year-old, 12.466. Now that is quite a drop from qualification, well over a mark. And you were quite right about that break in the routine.
It was the execution deductions and also the fact that he would not receive difficulty credit for the value of the element. Indeed, that adds up to more than a point.
Lorenzo Casali with a score of 13.833. That's down by only a few tenths from his performance in the preliminary round. Now, Jake Jarman has some exceptional difficulty at the vaulting table. He scored almost 15 in qualification.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Jake Jarman, and wow, the British team, because they've really given themselves a great chance.
It's hard to see because he twists so fast, but this is the vault, actually his second vault from qualification, the Yonakura Kasamatsu with 2.5 twists.
15.2 for that 6 difficulty vault. So he has added about 4 tenths to an already huge score. Now, Paul de Guy of France scored 13.833 in qualification.
Smooth combination, Yamawaki to immediate Ginger. That is the kind of thing that we will be seeing on high bar from gymnasts that get big scores. Performing like a veteran. Double layout, full out, great landing.
Paul de Guy, isn't he just a veteran? And you can't rule out France at this stage, can you?
No, they, like the Swiss, they have been quietly steady, and they've posted some big scores on their best apparatus.
In 6th position at the moment, the French team, but we can't really take stock of that until the full rotation is done. Now, if Italy are going to mount a challenge, this gentleman could be key. Matteo Levantesi scored 14.8 in qualification. He was the surprise of Thursday. He's a beautiful gymnast.
One of the cleanest, most artistic, most beautiful routines that we saw on the parallel bars. Rhythm, flow, fluidity. There's so many superlatives that one could use.
Oh, yeah, that isn't too bad at all, is it? Matteo Levantesi, 24. He'd never competed at the European Championships. And suddenly he's just arrived with a 14.6 score that makes Italy a factor in the equation. They could really fly up because of that. There's the evidence. Italy currently in 2nd place. We're going to bring you the standings now at the 2/3 mark of this final. Great Britain well ahead at the top of the leaderboard. Then Italy. Turkey have come back up because of their expert vaulting. Switzerland in 4th position. Italy are suddenly in there. Germany have dropped down to 7th place. That's how quickly everything can change, and you can feel in the arena the atmosphere is transformed totally. There's a quietness. There it is once more for you. Great Britain 5.2 ahead at the top. Italy, Turkey, Switzerland, then Hungary, your top 5. Still very hard to fathom how this is going to finish. The Italians now move to the horizontal bar. For Turkey, it is the parallel bars next for them, and they are terrific on that piece. They've got an Olympic and World Championship medalist to perform on the parallel bars. So, we rule not out the Turkish team. France and Switzerland over on floor, and maybe for the Swiss, just a slightly uncomfortable gap between fourth and third. Great Britain are also competing on the parallel bars. They have the strongest performer from qualification there in Joe Fraser. Germany on the pommel horse. It's really the last place you want to go when you're having a difficult time of things. Whether we'll see Glenn Trebing compete on there was something we were weighing up and wondering after what he did on floor, and seemed to be in obvious discomfort. Joe Fraser will be the last to go for Great Britain on the parallel bars, the best performer in qualification. If any of the numbers that we're throwing at you, if any of the attempts to provide a meaningful narrative is making sense to you, then consider yourselves truly an absolute master of the sport of gymnastics, because, Blythe, I think it's safe to say that you and I don't have a clue, do we, as to where this one really is going, apart from Great Britain looking comfortable at the top.
Yes, we agree on that. And I think viewers could agree on that as well. Great Britain has just gone from strength to strength. As for everybody else, there has been so much shuffling up and down the leaderboard that it's hard to know what to make of it, especially when you have some teams like Turkey going to apparatus that are their particular strengths, like parallel bars. But really for Turkey, it's been an up and down day. They had to swallow a couple of 12s on the pommel horse, but they really came back on vault and showed what they are capable of. Adama Seals, Risi Guang giving them back almost a point just in difficulty. So they're by no means out of it, sitting in third place right now.
And again, I mean, the Turkish gymnasts, they've had a slightly tricky time in terms of injuries. They've had to make some late adjustments to their squad, and bringing in youngsters like Kerem Şener and Mehmet Kosak. Mehmet Kosak did very well on still rings, a score in excess of 14. He's only 21. Kerem Şener is 18. He's a reserve for every piece today. So in a way, Turkey are actually competing with a squad of 4 gymnasts, one of whom is an absolute out-and-out still ring specialist. So they've got 3 gymnasts who are having to do a huge amount of work. The fact that they are in the position they're in is, I think, evidence of how much they love to compete under those national colours, under the flag, and how much it means to them. Now, France are going to get us underway on floor. We're looking at Paul de Guy.
Very nice front double pike, and even nicer front layout full to double front tuck to get started. He's a very stylish gymnast, Paul de Guy, and floor exercise is where he can show off his very clean twisting form.
As you'd expect an architecture graduate to do things with a solid foundation, good construction, and he certainly does on floor.
Very solid landing on the Arabian double front, the final pass. He's thrilled.
He's thrilled to be here as well, isn't he, Paul de Guy? He missed Glasgow 2018 with a biceps injury.
He's somebody who has been on the French national team for several years now. And like you say, he has not gotten a tremendous amount of opportunity at the major international competitions, and he's taking full advantage of this one.
And lovely that he's just won the all-around national championship in a world championship year. as well. If ever you're going to time it, winning the national title with the European Championships a month away, with the World Championships in Liverpool in October, yes, it's a gymnast in form. Great to see. James Hall, a gymnast that we don't have the chance to talk about a great deal during team competitions because there are so many gymnasts out there, and he's only performing 4 of the 6 pieces. We talk about him more in all-around competition, and we'll talk about him more tomorrow in the apparatus finals because he's a horizontal bar qualifier. But he is a gymnast who has become bolder and bolder over the years. As the score comes in for Paul de Guy. Any moment now. 13.6, there it is. Pretty comparable to qualification, down by just over a tenth. As I was saying about this gentleman, the 26-year-old, actually born in Australia, in Bankstown, but based in Maidstone in Kent. He is an Olympian who said he realised that he didn't just want to be steady. He said it's all well and good to be steady, I want to be up there with the world's best, and he has become a more complex gymnast over the years. He's also a great ambassador for the sport. He's been involved with the Young Lives Foundation, working with disadvantaged children in Kent.
Well, very difficult catching that with his hands instead of with his upper arms, as many gymnasts do. That makes the element harder, gets him more in the way of difficulty.
This is very fine from James Hall, a gymnast who came into the Commonwealth Games with an injury. Looked as though he was really struggling during the all-around final. Still managed to take a silver medal despite it. He just fights on and on.
They are so physically fit and so well prepared, the British. And there were 1 or 2 places where he gave away some small form deductions, a couple of tenths, leg separations and such. But on the whole, what a consistent piece of gymnastics.
Now Hungary are on the pommel horse with Christian Balázs.
Pommel horse, of course, the apparatus where the Hungarian team has distinguished themselves over the past decade. Their Olympic champion from 2012, Christian Berki, he is here with the team in Munich.
They're doing well, Hungary, in this final. The bronze medalist from 2020, Christian Balázs, made his senior international debut at the last European Championships. Missed the World Championships due to injury. .13.1 is his score. He improves upon qualification by around a couple of tenths. Turkey back at the races. Adem Asil, the all-around bronze medalist. And if you're new to watching gymnastics, believe me when we tell you, this young man, who's only 23, is unrecognisable from the gymnast who moved to Turkey from Alexandria in Egypt several years ago. His development is among the finest stories in gymnastics of this generation.
Within a year of moving to Turkey, he re-emerged. And although he had competed internationally for Egypt, he was virtually unrecognizable as a gymnast. They went back to basics. They reconstructed his routines to play to his strengths. And this is the result. Every time you walk in handstand, you lose 1/10 of a point. So 2/10, and then some hesitations and adjustments on the dismount, but he does look pleased with that effort, doesn't he?
They came here from Konak in Turkey, these gymnasts, having just dominated the Islamic Solidarity Games. It's a very prestigious event for the Turkish gymnasts, an event they've done very well at. In a way, the Islamic Solidarity Games was the starting point for this great Turkish men's team back in Baku in 2017. They wanted to win there, they did. They wanted to win at the Mediterranean Games before that, they did. They must be running on fumes. Goodness knows how they're doing it. Italy on the horizontal bar, Yumin Abedini. 13.8 in qualification.
Very nice so far, including the Coleman, the big release. And that as well, Stalder and Kachev. One more Kachev for good measure. What a nice performance from this very young Italian prospect. Dismount, double twisting, double layout.
That will do just fine. Yumin Abedini of Italy. The 21-year-old senior European Championship debutant. He was a top 5 performer in the all-around competition at the National Championships last year.
And has a nice variety of skills to draw upon. Not just a Kovac, but a Coleman, not just a Kachev, but a Stalder and Kachev, really distinguishing himself on the European stage.
The Swiss in 4th position coming into this rotation. Andrin Frey on floor. He's the reigning Swiss champion on this piece.
Aggressive tumbling, but not enough height on the front double pike, coming out of that full twisting front layout. That will be a deduction of a full point.
Just a few weeks ago, he had a stellar floor routine at a friendly competition between the Swiss, German, British and French teams.
He's obviously got great potential, supreme difficulty, very aggressive and very clean as well, both in his body position and in his landings. Half in, half out tucked.
It's just small things, isn't it, for the Swiss team at large? They're almost really part of this conversation. They could well just miss out.
They could. They needed a very good score from Andrin Frey on this apparatus, and it's still going to be pretty good, but 1.0 deduction.
13.166. It does give an indication, doesn't it, of the scoring potential of that routine, that he gets that number with the full mark lost. Switzerland in 3rd position at the moment. Yeah, he hangs his head, and it's a tough one to take for a very good young gymnast to have it happen in a final like this when your team's in 4th position. 14.3, James Hall on the parallel bars. He's up by almost 2/10 from qualification. Well, they're right to look so relaxed, and good to see Gianni Regini Moran in the foreground. He's often a gentleman in the background of the British team, quietly doing wonderful things. But he deserves his moment in the spotlight, Gianni Regini Moran. You'll rarely find somebody who loves the sport as much as him and who has worked harder to come back from injury. Ahmed Önder is very often one of the greatest gymnasts in the world to watch on the parallel bars. He scored 14.666 in qualification. Turkey started with that 13.866 from Adem Asil.
Turkey für die Türkei, der nächste Turner am Barren. Wartet hier auf das grüne Licht.
World Championship silver medalist Ahmed Önder in 2019. He just took a silver medal at the Islamic Solidarity Games as well. Just stated again, he has been one of the busiest gymnasts in the world lately.
Time and again, the Turkish team have turned to him in important moments in their team competitions. He is fighting for control, and he won that particular fight, but not that one.
They have given every last ounce that they've got, the Turkish men.
This is a Makut's element, and what he wanted to do was put his left hand on the bar. It's a distinct pause, and his body just was not where it needed to be. He will take a full mark. He is so capable of beautiful work on the parallel bars. Double front half out.
What a nice finish from Ahmed Önder of Turkey. Just had really clear-cut evidence of fatigue in the middle of the routine.
That seems to be exactly it. And he had a significant deduction on one of his opening elements, and then with the Makuts that compounded it. And he wasn't able to stay on.
And if you are as physically fit as Ahmed Önder and you feel a bit of fatigue, it's evidence of just how hard you've been working, because there are few people in the world in the shape he's in. Niels Dunkel of Germany on the pommel horse.
In the team qualification, pommel horse was a very good event for the German team, and watching him, you begin to see why. Great clearance, some supreme difficulty. There's the Wu travel. Magyar and Shivado. Great form, great endurance.
What a nice display from Niels Dunkel. Wants the crowd back. The score is 14.466. That's an improvement by a tenth from qualification. It was already one of the best pommel horse scores. Germany in 5th position. But that's an intermediary standing. We've got one rotation still to come. And we haven't had a full complement of scores come in. 13.766. Yumin Abedini on the horizontal bar. Very comparable to qualifying, down just a fraction, less than a tenth. Great Britain had at the start of this rotation over 5 marks of cushion ahead of Italy in 2nd place. If Joe Fraser hits this routine, they could have even more of a cushion. The all-around champion from Thursday, the first British man ever to accomplish that. His score in excess of 15 in qualification.
two unusual skills in this routine. And what smoothness in the handstand on one bar. Does the Healy out of it, upping the difficulty even more. This just epitomizes the way that Britain has been performing.
Gymnastically, that was a knife through butter. Silky, silky smooth from Joe Fraser. This is an outrageously good gymnast. Have the British men's team ever looked this imposing on the world stage? It's extraordinary. .533 for Ahmet Under. As Turkey were really getting back into contention, they may now drop away again. We just don't know though. Let's go to Matteo Leventesi of Italy on the horizontal bar. He was a delight to watch on the parallel bars before this.
Leg separation on the Takemoto half. Layout Kacha, fairly smooth. Straddle Kacha. Nice shoulder flexibility. Yamawaki. It's a well-delivered routine-ness, but it lacks some of the spectacular difficulty that we have seen from others, though the double twisting double layout was very secure as well.
13.333, as you said, Bly, the 5.1 difficulty for Matteo Leventesi, but a decent execution number. Now, how high is this going to be for Joe Fraser? 15.166. He's managed to find an extra 10th from qualification. I mean, that's just incredible.
And it's not just the difficulty. 6.5 is monstrous. It was the way that he did that routine. He made it look easy.
What a lovely selection of gymnasts we're seeing on the parallel bars. We've just had the 2019 world champion. We now have the reigning European champion, Ferhat Arujan, reigning two-time European champion and an Olympic medalist from Tokyo.
One of the very best in a field of exceptional workers on the parallel bars. His smoothness and his difficulty, the way that he goes in and out of each skill, the way that he takes things to the maximum, even to the point of making you jump a bit in your chair. Clearly superb work. Dismount double front, half out.
Isn't gymnastics wonderful? I mean, isn't it a beautiful sport? There can be fewer pleasures greater than sitting and watching a gymnastics competition, because you get that wonderful bringing together of that which is athletic and that which is artistic. Sometimes with Ferhat Arujan you get that which is poetic too.
Poetry in motion, the whole routine, and this dismount. Notice how early he kicks out, so he's able to spot the floor. Nobody has ridden the roller coaster today quite like Turkey. It's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down, and this score is going to bring them right back up.
One suspects they'll move ahead of the Italians, 15.2, and that also makes a statement ahead of the apparatus final tomorrow. That's better than Joe Fraser's score just now. We have one rotation to go. This this is what we know so far. Great Britain well in front, 6.4 marks. Turkey, second place. Hello, they're back in it again. Italy, third. Switzerland in fourth position, they remain there. France in fifth, but it's very tight, actually, between Italy and the Swiss. We're looking at a narrow margin. Italy will finish on floor. They've got Nicola Bartolini, the reigning world champion, to come. The Swiss will go to pommel horse. That traditionally hasn't been one of their finest pieces. Now, what about the French? They will finish also on pommel horse. It was at the European Championships in 2018 at the Hydro when the French secured bronze on pommel horse at the end with Cyril Thomasson. Tougher challenge for them now. That gentleman on the left of your screen is going to be very important as Italy go for their first ever men's team medal at the European Championships. How useful to have the reigning world champion about to go when you are trying to defend that third place, and maybe even to push up, because the Turkish are finishing on the horizontal bar. That, along with Great Britain, is where they will conclude their campaign. Sometimes we measure things, don't we, Blythe, that when it comes to the horizontal bar final stage of a team competition, on how many falls a team can absorb with the lead they've already got. Well, Great Britain have a lead of 6 marks. They really can have not a particularly strong rotation on the horizontal bar and still walk away with the European Championship title. They've given themselves about as much margin for error as you can hope for.
They would need multiple gymnasts to have multiple catastrophes, frankly, to lose the title at this point. That said, this is gymnastics and we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
But it's fair to say that for Great Britain, gold is within reach right now. Certainly more pressure is on Turkey to hold on to the silver medal.
And this is where we're really going to be focusing on, naturally. Great Britain with James Hall, Joe Fraser, Jake Jarman. Turkey with Ferhat Arujan, Adam Asil and Ahmet Under.
And of course for Turkey, all 3 of them are capable of delivering great routines. However, historically, we have seen inconsistency from them on horizontal bar. I almost hate to say it, to bring it up.
At the Hydro in 2018 at the first European Multisport Championships, things didn't go so well for Great Britain on the horizontal bar as they were chasing the title. They ended up with a silver medal. It's a very different feel now, though. Very different. Now, Hungary, who we're looking at now, were in 6th place, or are in 6th place, coming into the final rotation. Isn't it a magical sight? The Olympiahalle in Munich, and we're very grateful to have your company to enjoy a really entertaining men's team final. Let's go to Italy, currently in the bronze medal position, and Yumin Abedini.
Arabian double front second pass does really well to keep that in bounds. Impressive flare sequence. Up through the handstand twice. A fair amount of the difficulty in this routine actually comes from that sequence. Just one pass left. Triple full.
Really well done, Yumin Aberdini of Italy. This young man, second youngest in the squad and a European Championship debutant.
This is a good routine, and it had an especially clean triple full dismount. The only thing is his chest landed a bit low. It's a foundation routine. There are places where he could add difficulty, and no doubt that's what he's working on in his gym. The difficulty score, however, is not going to be enormous.
Ferhat Arujan of Turkey is their first to go on the horizontal bar. Starts with the Yamawaki. Oh, slightly wayward there.
It's hard to see from this angle whether he finished near handstand. If he did not, the judges will see it and they will apply a deduction, maybe 0.1 up to 0.5, if they thought he was really out of handstand. Dismount, full twisting, double layout.
Turkey's Ferhat Arujan, he scored 13.133 in qualification. He brings to a close his team final. Turkey, the silver medalists in 2020.
It's not a routine that is loaded with difficulty, but he executed it well.
12.7. We're really going to be looking at like-for-like comparisons between Italy and Turkey in this rotation, with Italy needing to make up a bit of ground, but that 13.9 from Yumin Aberdini is a splendid beginning. What nice execution he had. A look of such intensity on the face of Nicola Bartolini as he gets ready to go in a couple of gymnasts' time. Now, what about the Swiss on pommel horse, chasing third place? We're looking at Dominic Tamzel now. He's the national champion on pommel horse.
Showing strong sequences on each pommel. It's a nice fluidity to his work. Good kick to handstand and pirouette.
They've given it what they have, the Swiss. Dominic Tamzel, 13.7, good number for him. Just to remind you, the Swiss were in fourth place. They've now moved up into third, but Great Britain have still got a full complement of routines to go. Now we head to Turkey on the horizontal bar. Started with a 12.7 from Ferhat Arujan. It might end up that Italy are actually marginal favourites to inch ahead, unless Turkey can really hit some big numbers in this horizontal bar final. A lot will depend on Nicola Bartolini on floor for Italy. Adem Asil scored a 12.633 in the qualification process, the all-around final. This was his one area of difficulty in an otherwise virtually flawless all-around campaign.
Full concentration needed to hit this routine. That was the skill that he had trouble on in the qualification. Much better today. Layout Kachev, nicely done. Giant net straddle Kachev to another layout Kachev, done in combination. Nice so far. Full twisting double layout.
That is blistering from Adem Asil of Turkey. If ever a single moment demonstrates the indefatigability of this Turkish men's team, it's that.
there was a lot of pressure on him to hit this routine, and he absolutely did everything that he possibly could.
Italy, who have never won a men's team medal, with this young group of gymnasts. Lorenzo Casali, the youngest of them. He scored 14.2 in qualification. Yumin Aberdini opened with a 13.9.
Italy without some of their more well-known specialists. Italy relying on the youthful contingent. Full twisting double layout. Second pass. Did have an out of bounds to begin. But there is plenty of difficulty in this routine. Followed up the full twisting double layout with a Rudy. Oh, excuse me, a Randy. Front with 2.5 twists. And that is the Rudy. 1.5 preceded by a 2.5 twist. Oh, beautiful, beautiful routine from Casali.
Italy certainly were the favourites for the women's team competition. They were the favourites for the junior titles. Nobody would have had them as the favourites to even get onto the podium in this men's team competition. The fact that they are where they are is evidence of the promise of this young squad of all-arounders. Marvellous.
What a tremendous team effort on all apparatus from all team members.
How is the number for Adem Asil? 12.633 in qualification. It certainly will be better than that. It's much better. He's thrilled. 13.9. So, Yumin Aberdini, 13.9 on floor. Adem Asil, 13.9 on the horizontal bar. Like for like, favouring Turkey because they have a margin over the Italians. I can tell you that James Hall started very well for Great Britain, very well on the horizontal bar. He scored 14.066. Now Joe Fraser is the second to go.
Oh, terrific combination. The Takemoto with the half right into a Coleman. There's the Cassina. Floats the layout Kachev over it. And the straddle Kachev. What a routine. Great Britain, Great Britain.
Great Britain indeed. Joe Fraser. And they're virtually there now. They are virtually there. They look like they can barely believe it. Joe Fraser has this wonderful quality, exactly, when he finishes a gymnastics routine, he has the facial expression of a man who doesn't know how he just did that piece of gymnastics. He always looks so shocked by his own brilliance. He's so delightfully humble.
And there is brilliance throughout this routine, particularly on this dismount. Double twisting, double layout with both of the twists done on the second somersault. Unusual.
Really nice that Ferhat Adujan came over with a big beaming smile to congratulate Joe Fraser. They respect each other a lot, these teams. Ahmed Under was quick to praise Joe Fraser, the man who beat him into silver. 13.833 for Lorenzo Casali. So that makes things a half-mark advantage for Turkey over the Italians. They're starting to look very, very relaxed now, the British team. This is exactly the same team that competed for England at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. They've had virtually no rest time. .9 for Joe Fraser. Great Britain well and truly at the top of the table with 1 to go. Always nice to see the gymnasts supporting each other. Gianni Regini Moran applauding Ahmed Under of Turkey as he steps up. This is the last performance for Turkey on the horizontal bar. This will tell us what kind of margin they have over the Italians with Nicola Bartolini to come.
Takes plenty of risk here. Cassina. And a Coleman. Oh no.
He thumps the mat. Ahmed Under of Turkey.
It looked good, but he cast out just too far and was not able to swing cleanly out of it. So very close. So very, very close.
Anguish etched on their faces. This Turkish team that works so hard together, that trains together, that will take responsibility together for every success, for every day that's not so good.
You have to hand it to him for going for the difficulty, for very complicated release skills in this exercise. That finishing out of handstand, that one finishing in handstand.
And with Nicola Bartolini still to come on floor, he will have known he had to go for the difficulty. Ahmed Under, it's a wonderful finish, and it's been a wonderful championships for Turkey's best ever all-around gymnast at European Championship level. Let's just remember who we're looking at here. The man who did something that no one has ever done for his nation.
The effort has been supreme for Turkey and for Italy.
It puts them now into the driving seat. Oh, and by the way, here's the reigning world champion on floor. Nicola Bartolini has had his whole life transformed by the European Championships. It all started in Basel a year ago when he became one of the greatest on this apparatus.
He begins with a Randy front 2.5 twist, double front pike, half out. Double twisting, double tuck, kicks out of it. Great landing. He's known not only for his twisting form, for his superb execution, but also for really minimalizing the deductions on his landings.
the European Championships last year, Nicola Bartolini became a star. He returns a year later as the world champion to take the hands of his teammates and lead them into uncharted territory. Come with me, says Nicola Bartolini. I know the way. It had to be him, didn't it?
It had to be, and it was superb. What an effort from Italy. And what an effort from Nicola Bartolini to finish and cap off this day.
If there's any gymnast you want to finish off your bid for a medal, it's him on floor. This to send Italy above Turkey. We've got Turkey's score to come in as well. At the moment, Switzerland are the nation in the lead, but we anticipate a change to that. Now, 12.6 for Ahmet Under. Turkey go into the lead. The score required for Nicola Bartolini to go ahead with the Italian team is 13.101. I have a reasonable feeling he might just have gone beyond that. So we'll give you clarification on that number just as soon as it comes in. And then there's one performance left, and it will be something of a lap of honour. 14.433. Nicola Bartolini has just produced the performance that guarantees Italy their first ever men's team medal at the European Championships. The Renaissance man leads his team to the podium. So, Italy guaranteed at least silver, Turkey guaranteed at least bronze. Jake Jarman now takes the horizontal bar. He requires a score in excess of 6.2 to take the European Championship title.
And what that means is, as long as he does about 5 skills and just gets through them, Great Britain is the European champion.
It has been one of the most extraordinary displays in the history of British gymnastics. A team that from start to finish has looked utterly sensational. It's not a win, it's a domination. Great Britain will be the champions of Europe for just the second time. That group of 5 represented England at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham and won the title. They have now taken the European crown under the British colours. Normally it is protocol to wait for the score to come in, but it would be false dramatisation. This is good enough, easily good enough. They have been easily the best.
And how wonderful to see Jake Jarman close that out with not just an okay high bar routine, but a stuck full twisting double layout. That is Great Britain and the way they have performed throughout this championships.
It's been a hit parade from the British team. James Hall, Joe Fraser, Jake Jarman, Courtney Tulloch, Gianni Regini, Moran. The score needs to come in to make it formal. And it is 12.966. And all of that means that it is the European Championship title for Great Britain. And they have won it by nearly 7 marks ahead of the Italian team. Breathtaking from Great Britain. Really, they looked in control from very early on in the competition, and you know what, they were. But Italy, for the first time ever, have won a men's team medal at the European Championships. And that may be one of the most unlikely medals of this entire competition. We expected the domination of the women's team, but the men's team have really surpassed themselves. And Turkey as well, after what happened to them on pommel horse, to come back and to manage to take the bronze medal. And you know what, they've taken it actually quite clearly by a couple of marks ahead of the Swiss. Brilliant from that young group of gymnasts. When you look at the two new names in there, Kershak and Chener. But there are your European champions in team artistic gymnastics at the men's competition. It is Great Britain. A summer of triumph for this team. And for Turkey, you know what, that's a battling bronze, Blythe, isn't it?
Yes, the real gamut of emotions displayed by the Turkish gymnasts. There were moments of absolute brilliance in their performance, and those will be what we remember from this competition.
Go on, who of you out there had Italy as the silver medalist? Put your hands up and we bow before you. That's brilliant, just brilliant. Let's hear now from the European champions.
No words, you know, these guys, they deliver every single day in the gym, and it's showcased today, and I couldn't be the gymnast I am today without them, so I'm glad to share this moment with everyone.
And let's talk about the atmosphere here in the Olympic Hall.
Everyone in the crowd got behind us, every single apparatus, every single routine. You know, we couldn't have asked for a better crowd. So thank everyone for supporting every single one of us.
Meine Damen und Herren, die Europameister Great Britain.
Ja, eine Information an Sie, meine Damen und Herren, ziemlich starke Regen draußen, also es lohnt sich jetzt noch hier zu bleiben. Stay fast.
And it all comes down to that. We'll have for you in a moment the victory ceremony. The classified results in the men's team competition. A bronze medal to Turkey. Silver medalists and winning their first ever men's team medal at the European Championships. Italy, and winning their second title, and by a handsome margin of almost 7 marks, Great Britain. That final has taken us just about everywhere in terms of narrative direction, in terms of emotion, in terms of possibilities. But it's Turkey who take the bronze. Let's have a look back at some of their highlights. Silver medalists, this Italian team with some unfamiliar people in it, like him, Matteo Levantesi. Well, you know him now, don't you? He's a European Championship silver medalist. But it was the superstar of the team, Nicola Bartolini, who got the job done. From grace and elegance to, in the words of a fine poet, a barbaric yawp sounded across the rooftops of the world. And the champions, Great Britain. They were given a real test early on by Germany, but as Germany faded away, Great Britain in Munich took the prize. The moment when they knew they had it. Rarely has a final routine in a team final been so anticlimactic as that excellent performance from Jake Jarman, because frankly it was all but a formality. And we'll have, coming up in just a moment or two, the medal ceremony in the men's team competition. Do stay with us to enjoy scenes of celebration in the hallowed halls of the Immortals, the Olympiahalle in Munich.
Championships Munich 2022 Artistic Gymnastics. Ja, da geht sogar die Laola los da unten, oder? Probieren wir es. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hey! Ja, alle machen mit jetzt, auf geht's! In wenigen Momenten gibt's unsere Medal-Ceremony. Wird doch! So, und jetzt sind wir soweit, meine Damen und Herren. Jetzt geht's in die Medaillenfinale.
Medal ceremony for the men's artistic gymnastics team final. Siegerehrung, Teamwertung der Männer.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the men's team competition at the 2022 European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Well, this was enthralling, at times baffling, utterly unpredictable, back and forth, but there was one team that really were head and shoulders above the rest.
The medals and Champions Flowers will be presented by. Medaillen und Champions Flowers werden überreicht von Georges Gelzek, ehemaliger Präsident von European Gymnastics. Und
Well, that is quite a collection of famous names. Eberhard Ginger, the originator of the famous Ginger on the horizontal bar.
Turkey, Gewinner der Bronzemedaille.
Olympic medalist. The bronze medalists, Turkey. They came into this as the second strongest nation in qualification. They had a tough final, and the resolve that they showed, the determination, quite incredible. Ferhat Alujan, Kerem Şener, Ahmet Under, Adam Asil and Mehmet Kosak. For the second European Championships in a row, Turkey have won a team medal after their silver in 2020. Well done to Mehmet Kosak. He played his part with a great performance on the still rings. Before them, Kerem Şener, we didn't see. He was the reserve for the final today, but he was instrumental in qualification in getting them there. He's the young man in between Arujan and Under. He deserves his moment as well. And after the summer they've had, how busy they've been, brilliant. Turkey, the bronze medalists.
Silver medalists, Italy. Gewinner der Silbermedaille, Italien.
The winners of the silver medal, Italy. For the first time in the history of the European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics, the men's team are on the podium. They would not have been considered among the favourites to do that. But you know what? Funny things are going on in Italian team gymnastics at the moment. They just know how to deliver as a unit. But did you know many of them before this competition. Well, you know them now. You certainly knew him, Nicola Bartolini, and he was the one that produced the performance that put them into second place. But Lorenzo Casali gets his big moment. Yumin Abadini, Andrea Cingolani, Matteo Levantesi. And for the gentleman we just saw being presented with the medal, Andrea Cingolani, bronze medalist on the floor in 2013 at the European Championships. This was his 5th European Championships, but the first since Bern in 2016. Came in as an injury replacement, and look at what he's accomplished with the rest of this team. Italy, the silver medalists.
Gold medalists and European champions, Great Britain, gewinnen eine Goldmedaille.
The European champions for the second time in men's team competition, Great Britain, and they did it in such emphatic fashion. There are wins and there are wins, and this was the latter. In a team final where so many nations had little wobbles here and there, for the British it was clean routine after clean routine. The reward for the British team is gold. The first to be presented, the man at the heart of the team, James Hall. The second to be presented, the all-around European champion from Thursday, Joe Fraser. The third to be presented, the star of the Commonwealth Games and all-around champion there, Jake Jarman. The fourth to be presented, an unsung hero of the British team, Courtney Tulloch, one of the best specialists in the country. And last of all, but by no means the least, never the least, Gianni Regini Moran, somebody who came back to this sport after injuries, would have defeated virtually anyone else. Somebody whose love for gymnastics made him believe that his big moment would one day come. Great Britain are the European champions in men's team gymnastics. And we will now hear the national anthem of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. There they are, the medalists in the men's team competition, the Munich 2022 European Championships. Ahmed Under, just as was the case yesterday in the all-around competition, marshals the selfie. And what company he keeps. You get the sense, looking at that, that means a great deal to Turkey. It means a great deal to Italy. It means a great deal to Great Britain. It's a very happy-looking podium, that. Great Britain now the most successful nation in artistic gymnastics at these European Championships. That's their third gold medal. Italy have won overall the greatest number of medals, and we have 6 apparatus finals to come for your entertainment tomorrow on the final day of artistic gymnastics and the final day of Munich 2022. It's been a great pleasure having your company today for all of the action from the Olympiahalle. Joining me was Blythe Lawrence. I've been Ollie Hochben saying goodbye, but not farewell.
Die haben wieder einen stabilen Wettkampf geturnt nach der Quali. Die waren eigentlich gut, aber die anderen haben besser geturnt heute. Ein paar Fehler und schon reicht's. Ich habe ja gesagt, die Karten werden neu gemischt. Der dritte von der Quali, Spanien, war ganz unten. Also ganz spannender Tag heute.
Großbritannien auf jeden Fall hochverdienter Sieger. Wir haben es gerade vorher schon mal kurz gesagt.
Ja, es ist einfach schön, wenn die Leistungen belohnt werden von den Kampfrichterinnen und Kampfrichtern, und sie haben sich das so verdient. Deswegen nochmal herzlichen Glückwunsch an alle Medaillengewinner hier.
Vielleicht noch mal kurz einen Satz zur deutschen Mannschaft. Am Ende Platz 7, und wenn wir mal den Abstand anschauen, ja, da waren leider ein paar Fehler drin, ein paar Punkte zu viel liegen gelassen, aber es wäre möglich gewesen, heute weiter nach vorne zu kommen.
Unabhängig von der Leistung schicken wir auch nochmal gute Besserung, und hoffentlich ist da nichts passiert bei Glenn am Boden. Na? Das war aber so der Auftakt, da hat es dann ein bisschen Fehler geregnet, auch für Kochan. Da haben wir so viele Punkte gelassen, also ich glaube, wir haben so ein bisschen gerechnet, 6 Punkte. Wir haben 3 Punkte weniger geturnt als in der Quali, sind trotzdem 7. geworden. Und ja, bis zu Platz 3 haben ja diese 6 Punkte dann am Ende auch gefehlt. Also hätten wir unser Programm gefahren, so wie die Jungs das können, ich weiß jetzt ganz genau, dass sie das können, wäre wahrscheinlich auch Bronze gewesen, aber hätte, wäre, ist halt immer schön. Trotzdem, das letzte Wort ist noch nicht gesprochen, morgen ist ja auch noch ein Tag.
Morgen ist auch noch ein Tag, wollte ich gerade darauf zu sprechen kommen, Maria. Morgen ist ein langer Tag. 12 Entscheidungen.
Genau, erst die Junioren mit ihren Gerätefinals und am Nachmittag die Senioren.